So, for your pre-write, you're going to pick a topic. Now, we've been looking at dress codes and uniforms already, so I encourage you to go ahead and stick with that so you don't need to go back and research even more. But if dress codes and uniforms just don't do it for you, here are some other issues that you're welcome to pick from. You can talk about the pros and cons of homework. Is homework good or is it bad? Remember, though, you have to pick a side. Homeschooling, good or bad? Online education, is it a good thing or a bad thing? Texting while driving, should it be allowed or not? The driving age, 16, 18, 21, what do you think? Vaping, it's a hot topic right now. This is one that, there's a lot of information coming out fast on. So vaping, should it be legal or illegal? Social media and mental health. Does social media, things like Facebook and Instagram, Twitter, those kinds of things, are they good or bad for you? Violent video games and violent behavior. There are a lot of people who believe that violent video games create violent behavior, and there are those that believe that that is just not true. You should be picking from one of these topics. If you have a topic that you would like to do other than those, please get permission from your teacher, that would be me, before doing it. I am not going to allow topics that are polarized or that have been overdone. So make sure you check with me before getting into this. Once you pick your topic, here is where you're going to write what issue you're doing. What issue are you going to argue? Then I want you to write down the source information and some notes on that source, things you could use to support your side. So side one, the pros, this is the side you're going to support. So if you're using Actively Learn, say, for example, you're using the article, The Hidden Agenda of School Dress Codes. So you would write the title here, the author, you'll have to go back to Actively Learn and find the author, and the type source, you're going to put an article from Actively Learn. If you're finding another source online, then again, the title, the author, and the website that you got it from. Make sure if you're giving me a website, you give me the web address there for type of source so that I can look at it too. Then you're going to take notes over here on that source. There's a place for you to do 3 sources here. You don't have to have 3 sources, but I recommend that you have at least 2. Then underneath that, there is a place for you to do side 2. This is the side that you are going to say is wrong. But again, you have to have that counter argument. So you need to make sure that you've looked at both sides. You need to make sure that you understand the other side before you can argue against it. So again, there's a place here for you to write the title, author, and the type of source or where you got the source from. And over to the right is where you're going to write down some notes on what that source says. There's a place for you to do 3 different sources. You should have at least 2 sources. The third one you don't have to do if you don't want to. If you have more sources than that, you can always add extra down below. Okay, so once you have gone back and you've taken some notes on both sides for you to work from, then you're going to have the argument paragraph to do. So that assignment looks like this. Here are the directions. Write an argument supporting one side of an issue. Remember that you must pick a side. Do not say both sides are right. Your paragraph should have a claim that clearly identifies the issue and the side you are taking. When I read that claim, I should have no question in my mind what you're going to argue. And then you need to support with evidence. This is where your logical appeal is. You need to have a logical appeal. Why is this right? And then you need to have reasoning. You need to show that that logical appeal is right. This is where you give that evidence, this is where you give your reasoning, how your evidence is right. Okay. Then you have then you should switch to the other side, your counter argument. What does the other side say? Now you don't have to defend the other side. You just need to give a reasonable argument of what they would say. And then you give your rebuttal, why the other side is wrong. This is a great place for an emotional appeal. Use that loaded language that's going to make us feel what you want us to feel about it. But be careful, it's not a fallacy. And finally, a conclusion. And this is where you're going to go back to your original claim. See, I told you I was going to prove this, and I did. Okay. I have an outline here for you to follow. It should look very familiar to you. Your claim is kind of like your topic sentence. Then you give support or evidence for that claim. This is your logical appeal. And then you give the reasoning why that logical appeal makes sense. Go back to your notes. Make sure that you're giving real reasons. You're not making this up. This is not an opinion piece. This is based on your research, what other people say. Finally, and then you give your counter argument, what the other side would say, and your rebuttal, why they're wrong. And finally, your conclusion. If you don't want to do the outline, you don't have to. I highly recommend it. You can just jump straight down here to your paragraph, though. But make sure that you have all of these pieces from the directions, and make sure that you are using complete sentences, that you are indenting, and that you are color coding based on the directions. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, don't hesitate to shoot me an email. All right. I hope to see you at our Zoom meeting. Talk to you soon. Bye.